Dear students, welcome to the video tutorial on OPAC and enhanced OPAC. In this tutorial, we will be exploring how libraries are moving from simple searching OPAC to enhanced OPAC. Now, before that, if we study the current data model in the libraries, we can see or we can observe that we pay in recursive cycle, we have limited data mobility and we have limited integration scopes. But because of this limitation, we cannot serve our users in full swing. So the next possible movement in the library may be the utilization of open and shared data to make library mobile, accessible and useful, to make libraries secured, evaluated and protected. So that is the motto of the present generation library automation system. Now, if we look into the typical library system in India, it is basically characterized by three limiting factors. First limiting factor is that resource optimization through subscription based access. Most of the contents of the libraries are presently available to the users are procuring by libraries through huge fees, huge license fees. At the same time, we are paying huge license fees for the procurement of the commercial software, and that software we are utilizing for organizing resources and managing our library operations. Another limiting factor in Indian libraries is that we are not going for integration of open contents. For example, presently we have 10,500 plus open access journal, we have 3,500 plus open access repository, and altogether these two routes of open access gives us 1 million free scholarly content which are peer reviewed journal paper published in different commercial journal. These are full text theses, but we are not utilizing this huge pool of open contents in our libraries. So on the basis of these three limiting factors, let us explore how we can manage this open content and how we can open up our library system to take advantages of different ongoing changes in the domain of library system and in general in the domain of scholarly communication process. Now, the director of Open Library System once actually said us that Open Library is coming as a future entity and it will be a loosely federated network of local open libraries, agencies and different committed individuals. So in future, the information landscape will not be based only on the top of libraries, archive, museums and preservation institutes. There will be lot of individuals, committed individuals, user generated contents, and finally all the local libraries will be merged together seamlessly to give us a global library which is nothing but a loose federation of libraries in different sectors of the world. And the future of the library is basically open in the sense it will follow open architecture, open standards, open source software, open contents, open data, and importantly most of the services will be available to others through open API. That means it will be an widget kind of thing. You copy the API, paste in your local services, the moment you paste it will be linked to the global services. So this is the ongoing changes and possible futures in the domain of libraries. And in this particular tutorial, we are going to explore how these technologies are going to affect the future interface of the library. That means the OPAC. You already know the OPAC is the most visible product of library automation. Your users basically interact with the library system through OPAC. And here we are going to show you that how this OPAC is changing from a simple search entity to a content entity. Now here three major players are actually recommending different features and factors related to enhancement of OPAC. One is Open Library, another two also you know, that is one is the Open Library Environment Project or simply OLE project, another is the ILS-DI project. Now all these three projects are recommending that in future libraries should use open source and open standards as content building infrastructure and open contents as resources inside that content infrastructure. Now, as a whole altogether, we are moving to a new concept called socio-biblio cloud. Socio-biblio cloud is simply means that apart from the bibliographic data, which are actually different validated bibliographic data records coming from different libraries. Authority data. Apart from bibliographic data and authority data, in future we are going to have lot of associated data and user generated contents in the library. By coining the term associated data, I mean to say that bibliographical record are associated not only with the metadata but also with the cover page image, book reviews, table of content services, generation of card on the fly, tags, taxonomies, user rating, etc. So, all are associated data related to a bibliographic item. So, on the basis of that data we can create different kind of new generation of services. Apart from these associated data which are normally provided by different vendors in open channel, there are user generated contents. Say users are rating, they are making comment, they are posting reviews. So, all kind of that data can also be associated with the library system. Now, the socio-biblio cloud is basically originated in Web 2.0 technologies. Web 2.0 technologies, as you know, it recommends that to use web as platform, harnessing collective intelligence, that is basically in otherwise known as wisdom of the crowd. It says that data must be reusable, and the motto or the catchline is that the data is next Intel inside. So, that means you can pick up data set from anywhere and can integrate data set into anything. So, that kind of system I will be showing you how Library OPAC is using that kind of system. And it interestingly it says that there will be an end of software release cycle. So, in future we will be giving more importance to services rather than software. Say for example, when you are searching Google, you do not care about what are the data sets, what are the programming languages, what are the programming environment they are using. So, we are basically using Google as a service. Similarly, in future Library OPAC may come as a service by integrating different kind of open contents, on the fly integration of different kind of associated and user generated data. So, all things started with the Web 2.0 platform, and by taking advantage of the Web 2.0 platform, we are actually moving towards the lightweight programming model, or that is called application programming interfaces. Software will not only be available to computer, your service in future won't be available only in computer, it is going to make things multimodal and multinodal, and at the end you need to ensure rich user experience. Only then users will be attracted to library portal, otherwise they won't. Now, this famous screen snapshot, it says that different kind of Web 2.0 cloud, different kind of technologies presently we are using in Web 2.0 platform like blogs, wikis, RSS feed, etc. Now, here you see that how it is a chaotic situation. N number of tools are presently available which are claiming that they are providing Web 2.0 compliant services. So, as a student of library science, we always try to bring order in the chaos. So, here if we group the Web 2.0 tools, all the tools available in the domain presently into 4 groups, you see although these 4 groups are not mutually exclusive with each other, but primarily you can have a categorization of different Web 2.0 tools available with us. So, first category may be the read write web, where different individual tools like blogs, RSS, MySpace, Facebook, YouTube, podcast, Writely.com, these are coming. Then comes the social networking components layer. Delicious, Jimbo, Flickr, Squidoo, Jumpcast are components of these categories. Third category may be the collective intelligence support component, wikis, LibraryThing, Paperback Swap, Dig, Technodata, Foxonomy, Amazon book review services, all can come under the collective intelligence component, because users are generating component in this category. And finally, or lastly but not the least, information mashup component. This information mashup technology gives libraries a unique opportunity to integrate different distributed resources into a single place. For example, we can integrate Google Maps, we can integrate Wikibios with 100 tag of Mark 21 to interconnect author biography with the author name. Second Life is coming as a big alternative as a virtual reading room. Library Lookup is coming as a service to provide a single window search interface for all global leading libraries. So all these 4 categories of tools so far we have explored, that can be integrated seamlessly to transform the present OPAC into enhanced OPAC. But before making a quantum jump into the enhanced OPAC component, let me give you some kind of statistics. Do you know 80% of the active internet users visit social networks? So if you cannot incorporate, or if you are not incorporating social networking tools into your OPAC, possibly user will not be coming to search and view your OPAC. So first most important thing is to integrate with the OPAC different social networking tools to attract present generation of user, or normally who are called as generation Y, because they are the digital native, they actually growing with the internet right from their childhood. So if you cannot create a Google like interface which is integrated with lot of interactive, collaborative and participative tools, possibly library OPACs won't be utilized by the present generation of users. When I am saying that it's Web 2.0 tools, it's a collection of tools, technologies and platforms which are making library services interactive, collaborative and participative. Now what are the major social media tools which can be utilized in OPAC? That can be blog, Delicious for social bookmarking, Facebook as a popular social networking tools you can integrate with the library OPAC, and it has got two-way benefit. First, users will be attracted into your OPAC, and then the moment they like a book, it will be posted their OPAC, and their network will be coming to know about the presence of the book in your library. So you are promoting the availability of the book, or you are promoting the use of the book to satisfy the first law of library science. Then the next step, you can integrate Google custom search engine. You can create a exclusive custom search engine for different subject areas. For example, suppose you want to index only journals available on chemistry. So you prepare a Google custom search engine on chemical journals available in the web freely. Then that particular exclusive index you can integrate with your OPAC through a simple API. So I will be showing you how you can integrate. Then RSS feed can be can be utilized in a big way in libraries, and in libraries we are generally providing current awareness list or recent arrival list. The moment your library OPAC is RSS compliant, for each and every query it will generate RSS feed. The moment user install that RSS feed into their RSS reader, they will be coming to know automatically what new books on a given subject or a subject of their interest presently available in the library or came newly into the library. Apart from these major tools like blogs, Facebook, Google custom search engine, RSS, we can also integrate Twitter, wikis, Wikibios, and the list is going in fact every day. Now let us explore that what is happening in 1 second in this online domain. You won't be believing, in 1 second 100 new blogs are created, 1500 new blogs are posted, 98,000 new Twitter postings are available, all in 1 second. So in each and every second, megabytes or petabytes of data are generated by the user in the online domain. Now can we neglect this huge amount of user generated content? Is it possible to use this user generated content effectively inside our library system? These are all questions of research, and let's explore how we can manage these online contents which are available from user side into our library OPAC. Presently, most of the associated content generated by the vendor, you already know some of the big vendors like Amazon, Bibliothek, Baker and Taylor, Google, iDream Libraries, LibraryThing, Open Library, OCLC, Syndetics. So all are well known vendors. Fortunately, they provide associated content freely. That means we can easily link our OPAC with the book reviews available in the Amazon. We can easily link our OPAC with the rating services of Syndetics. We can easily link our cataloging data sets with the OCLC through XISBN services. So why don't you take the advantages of these available tools inside the OPAC? For example, if you look into this particular slide, now this is the interface of Koha. Koha allows all services generated from Syndetics to make use in the library OPAC. By default it will be disallowed or it will be off, but easily you can on these services. The simple thing is that you need to register with the services, that is Syndetics. They will give you a API key, and that API key you have to paste inside the Koha. So on the basis of that API key, your library OPAC will be connected directly to Syndetics. Now here you see how can we integrate Amazon with library OPAC. Here you see there is an Amazon ASOC tag. The moment I got the ASOC tag freely from Amazon, if I post it, the cover page image from Amazon, Amazon local services, then Amazon book reviews, Amazon rating services, all will be integrated in a moment in your library system. Similarly, you register your library in OCLC, they will give you an OCLC affiliate ID. The moment you paste your affiliate ID here through XISBN service, you enter only title and ISBN. Through XISBN service, rest of the data it will be fetching from OCLC server. So you don't have to spend time, money and energy in entering data. You just take the advantage of XISBN service of OCLC. So these are the ongoing changes through which we can link our library automation system through global service providers. So finally, a huge landscape is coming. The library OPAC will be turned into SOPAC or social OPAC. So presently you see the nomenclature, we started with the OPAC, we got web OPAC, now we are entering into SOPAC era. That means the OPAC of the future will be become social with rich content from user as well as freely available open content through the scholarly communication channels. Now you see how many social networking tools are available. This gives you a brief overview about the availability of the tools. A whopping 293 tools are presently available. Now one question definitely is coming to your mind: how is it possible to individually link all these services to our OPAC? Is not it a tedious and cumbersome job? No. There are tools available through which you can integrate all these distributed social networking service into a single window. Say for example, in our OPAC, we are using an aggregator called add to this or add to any. The moment I create an account to add to any and I select these are the social networking tools I want to aggregate, so they will aggregate a control panel for me through which I can control all kind of available social networking tools. I can select, I can delete, I can modify, I can add. Now when my adding, modification, deletion is over, I am in the final stage, I will collect the API and I will integrate with the library OPAC. For example, you see this is a simple library OPAC which is not integrated with any kind of social networking tools. Now I have got a API through add to any. Through that API, if I make a very simple script like this is basically the script I got from add to this community. Now the moment I add this particular script in my OPAC interface, that is called API, application programming interface, now the very next moment it will be connected to social networking tools. So I am not individually connecting Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus and different other social networking tools. I am going to an aggregator, I am generating an API, that API I am pasting in my scripting and the script is generating the presence of lot of social networking tools. All 293 tools also you can have in your library OPAC. The moment you click this plus sign, it will give you a list to use. Say for example, I am using here the Facebook. The moment I select the Facebook, it will be asking me my login and password. The moment I give it, it will paste the book details into my wall, so that all the followers and all the friends of mine in Facebook can see the presence of this book in a particular library. So in this way, you can also utilize social networking tools to promote different library resources in your system. Now next thing what we can do very easily without paying a single paisa, that is called that Google custom search engine. You know, you can create a very simple search engine in Google. It's simply a 1, 2, 3 kind of step. you go to Google with your Gmail ID. By using that your login and password, you go to Google custom search engine, select a list of URLs, and the moment you save your data there, Google will create a subset of search services on the basis of your given URL, and at the same time it will generate an API or widget. That widget you can take and you can paste in your library OPAC. Here I am using Koha. Now the moment I paste and save it in my Koha, you see here, this is the simple search interface for the library catalog, and this is created, a search box is created here through which I can search a selected set of resources available through Google custom search engines. So you can, in your library, you can select a given a set of domains, you can identify URLs associated with that domain, you can have separate custom search engine by using Google CSE, it's completely free. You generate the widget, paste the widget in your Koha OPAC or the OPAC of ILS you are using, and it can generate this kind of full text search interfaces inside the OPAC. Another advantage of library system is RSS. RSS stands for Rich Site Summary or really simply syndication. That means I already told you it can create feed against your query, and the moment users subscribe that particular feed in their feed reader, the library system will send an auto alert to them to tell them about the presence of a particular book or newly arrived book in the library. Here you see I search my library OPAC by using a keyword. Now against this keyword an RSS feed created by my ILS. The moment I click that RSS feed, it prompted me that do you want to subscribe that feed. This feed reader is already integrated with the Mozilla Firefox. The moment I click save, so all data available or all bibliographic records available in my library system will be listed here. And not only that, suppose now there are 5 books available against my query, and tomorrow a new book added which perfectly matches with my query. So automatically this RSS feed will give me an alert, and new content updated in your library system, you can have a look on it. So this kind of use of RSS can create current awareness tool. That is the basically the next generation current arrival list. You are not preparing a simple bibliographical list, or you are not posting the cover page images of book on your library world that this is the new arrivals. You are simply creating from your OPAC RSS feed, and that RSS feed can give auto alert to your user about the availability of a single book. So this way actually library OPAC is becoming interactive, collaborative and participative. Now another thing I am trying to show you that how this can be utilized to generate different other kind of smart services. Say for example, here I am searching by the term web indexing here. So it will display the book, the cover page image is coming from Amazon, the table of content service is coming from Library of Congress. So it means I entered only a few mark data related to this book, title, creator, ISBN, etc. So on the basis of that title ISBN matching rule, it can fetch cover page image from Amazon, it can fetch table of content service from Library of Congress or CATDID server. So as a whole, by entering a few data elements, I am creating a rich user experience. So each user will be getting a rich information landscape related to each and every object. So it finally creates a very good user experience who are using your OPAC. Now this is the table of content, you can click and see. We can browse the shelf. So all this right from here user can locate a particular book. That means this particular book is basically located after this book or before this book. In this way you are providing a visual help to user to locate a particular book in open access library system. Another interesting thing is that you are allowing your user to make comment on a particular book, you are allowing to see them Amazon reviews, etc. But to make a comment, to provide a particular tag, you need to log on into the system. Now I am trying to show you how we can generate old kind of or old style of library card inside your OPAC through multimedia interfaces. Say for example, this is a particular book available in your library. Now most of the library management software or system, the moment you click ISBD view, it gives you a dry text. So this is not quite attractive. In fact, ISBD display is not quite popular with the user. They always prefer the custom format. But we have, as library professional, we have an emotional attachment with the ISBD display format. But most of the cases, library automation software also do not take care about the rich display of the ISBD format. So here it possibly most of the library automation software gives you a series of dry text which is not quite attractive in display. Now if we use a card generation service which is called card on the fly or Blyberg card service, the moment I select ISBD data service, it can generate a visual card like this. So it gives users a feeling of the old library catalog card, but please remember, this is not a card, this is a multimedia production which is interactive in nature. That means on this card user can make different comments. Say for example, I made a comment, I like it, or I can made a comment, order more copies for these books. So you can generate an interactive multimedia card in real time which can allow user to make comment on it. But definitely at the end, librarian will be there to moderate the comments. If he or she allows, then only the different comments from users will be coming to cards, otherwise not. So we have a control there, but it attracts users into the library services to navigate different kind of library resources, because it is now two-way service. Previously library was a monologue, now library is a dialogue by using this kind of services. Another interesting thing is the Google Indic transliteration integration. As I told you that India is a multilingual country, we have 25 Indic script. So we can automatically link our library OPAC with the Google Indic translation, and phonetically we can generate, we can type in English phonetically and it can generate the corresponding terms or terminology in the target language. Say for example, here I have selected Bengali. Now the moment I type Granthagar here, Granthagar is equivalent to library. In Bengali it is Granthagar, equivalent term in English is library. The moment I type Granthagar here and my target language is Bengali, it will generate the term in Bengali script. Similarly, we can do with the Hindi script and Oriya, Marathi, Malayalam, etc. All 25 constitutionally recognized scripts are supported. Another interesting features is the integration of authority data into the library system. We can integrate VIAP. Say for example, this is my cataloging interface. The moment my cataloging interface is connected with the VIAP auto suggestion, and if I type here Ranganathan, so all the entries available in Ranganathan, available in VIAP on Ranganathan will be displayed. I can select any one of it from any of the these services, VIAP, Library of Congress and many other national libraries. The moment I select, it will come to my authority records. And we can generate this kind of statistics also on the basis of usage, in which countries these books are available, what are the variants names through which Ranganathan is known to other parts of the world, that we can statistically or visually represent. So with this, you already know that a revolution is on the door and the rules of the games are changing. So new laws are also coming. Nowadays the laws provided by Ranganathan, it is tuned into different context. So McDonald actually tuned the laws in the context of social networking tools. He said actually the library is everywhere should be the first law. The library has no barriers. The library invites participation, and the library uses flexible best of the breed component based systems, and the library is a human centered organization. Thank you.